Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, man. Welcome to Beyond Classic Rock. Today, got a complimentary quad featuring the music of four different artists, man. First, we're going to start off with Zimbra by the Talking Heads. This is live on David Letterman, followed by The Payback, James Brown, live on the Midnight Special. I might have seen that. I used to stay up at night on Friday nights to watch that. Third up is Gratitude by Earth, Wind and Fire, live in concert. Know the song, never saw any footage. And lastly is Baby I Love You by Prince with Chaka Khan, live in London. So man, some pretty funky grooves going on up in here. I just want to give a shout out first and a thanks very much to Randy. Randy, thank you, man. Thank you very much for your recommendations and providing the links as well. And Randy says, STB, I'm continuing my funky groove. Here's my first quad. Excellent. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it, man. All right, so let's pop this off, man. Starting with I, Zimbra by Talking Heads. Talking Heads, I, Zimbra, live on Letterman. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here once again, Talking Heads and E. Zimbra.
E. Zimbra. Their frontman's name. I think it's David Byrne. He's so charismatic. He's got such a great showmanship quality about him. Like the side worm is doing. Yeah, that's right. They're on a TV show, so it could be short.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much. Fine.
Nice, nice.
Thanks again.
Goes up, gives him a handshake.
We gotta go away. We'll be right back. I'm sorry. No, I'm not done. No.
Right on. That was excellent. Only 3 minutes. Short and sweet. Fantastic. throwback to the good old days, man, to the good old Sullivan days where he would go up, he would talk to everybody, greet everyone. That was really nice. I missed that about Dick Clark as well. On American Bandstand, he'd go up and he would actually greet everyone and, talk to them for a few minutes. That was really, really nice. Speaking of Dick Clark is coming up in a bit. He's going to be interviewing Casey and the Sunshine Band. They were, I believe, on American Bandstand performing live. And he would go up and he would talk to them and all that. I miss that kind of stuff in the variety days, man. Awesome. So, hey, that was excellent. I don't usually watch Letterman, but yeah, excellent, man. This was, 83. Back in 83. The Talking Heads, man. These guys, among, let's say, Santana, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they have been the most highly contested contestants for the classic rock platform. I would be stuck in the middle of a fro and people would be going back and forth. This is classic rock, man. It fits the timeline. I don't care about the timeline. It's not classic rock because it doesn't fit the genre on a whole. It's classic rock. It's not classic rock. STB, come on, man. Block this guy. He's being a jerk. That's what I would get, man. And so I learned to stay away from these. And I actually had to say to some of my patrons who were looking to get complimentary quads done, hey, listen, man, I'm going to refrain from doing reactions to let's say Talking Heads or a Santana because this is what goes on, and of course they would be pissed off and they wouldn't, and then it would just be a crazy thing. So this channel was in the works for a decent year. I would say it's about a year that it was really planted in my head about it. I did a Rare Earth reaction, and again, the fight. When I strayed just slightly, even during my anti-war days when I was starting out really early, like within the first couple of weeks of my channel, I had people jumping on me for doing a reaction to Marvin Gaye, even though, it fit in with the anti-war theme. It was just so contested among people. And so I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is just crazy. And the pestering was unrelenting. So needless to say, here we are now, a year and a half later, with a platform that will basically say yes to everything, with the exception of the extremes like gangster rap or death metal or sappy ass love songs. But other than that, we'll go everywhere. So I'm really happy that we have a platform where we can do reactions to the Talking Heads, because I know that these guys are just dynamic in concert, and I believe it's David Byrne. He's just a joy to watch, you know what I mean? I put him up there as an entertainment twin of Peter Gabriel. You know how Peter Gabriel has this presence about him. He's animated and he's really entertaining and just wonderful to watch. It's the same. I feel David Byrne is like that. And I really enjoy watching live footage of Peter Gabriel and David Byrne. I compare the two of them. I draw comparisons between acts sometimes. I draw a comparison between Aerosmith and Van Halen as being the rock and roll bands that really love what they're doing, and they always seem to be having so much fun. I see them as sister bands in a way. And so I draw parallels between certain people, certain acts. Different sides of the coin. I draw a parallel between John Bonham, the drummer of Led Zeppelin, and Neil Peart, the drummer of Rush. They are just as great and magnificent at the same level of everything, but they have different ways of doing things, but they're basically the same coin, just opposite sides of that coin. So it's great to actually draw comparisons, I think. But yeah, David Byrne and the Talking Heads, fantastic. I remember doing a reaction, I believe it was Take Me to the River, and that was really well received on the classic rock platform. Not a single person was giving me any flack about it being classic rock or otherwise, just because they are so good that they have the ability to just kick the doors in and overlap into genres, overlap timelines, challenge it, you know. Not always that lucky, but with the Talking Heads, definitely. So let us do a little background, man. And apologies for getting the title of the song wrong. It's not I Zambra, it's E Zambra, Zimbra. And let's see what we can learn about it, man. Every song has a really good story, so hopefully this song has one. E Zimbra. E Zimbra. With African percussion rhythms augmented by synthesizers, this song was the brainchild of Brian Eno, who produced the Talking Heads' Fear of Music album. Eno came up with similar sounds for his 1974 album Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. As for the lyrics, they came about when Eno suggested to David Byrne that he adapt the poem Gaji Berry Bimba by the German Badist writer Hugo Ball. Badist. That's it, Badist. Badaist. Eno, Byrne, and Ball are the credited writers on the song. Badism was a literary and artistic movement developed between 1915 and 1922, born of reaction and disillusion during World War I. In 1916, Hugo Ball founded the Cabaret Voltaire nightclub in Zurich. Events there proved pivotal to the spread of the movement, which aimed to question established artistic rules and values by provoking outrage. Keyboardist Jerry Harrison has named this as his favorite Talking Heads song. Robert Fripp, best known for his work in King Crimson, played guitar on this track. This became a popular live song for the band when they toured in 1980, adding 5 additional people to their lineup. Adrian Bello, guitar, Nona Hendricks and Donette McDonald, vocals, keyboardist Bernie Worrell, Stephen Scales, percussion. When we spoke with Hendricks in 2012, she said of this song, quote, "That's a great one. The whole sort of the feel of that and the motion, the rhythm that, well, it's just a cool rhythm. It's African, but Western and almost South American," unquote. In other words, it's a great fusion. Yeah, excellent. Okay, man, so that is Wikipedia song fact info of E Zimbra. Fantastic, man. I expect to do a lot of Talking Heads reactions on this platform. Definitely. I think that they're going to be a regular feature. That's what I think. All right, man. So let us jump to our next track, man. And that is James Brown's The Payback Midnight Special. Yeah, when I was growing up, man, I was really young still, 10 or 11. Midnight Special used to come on at around 11:35. I don't know why 11:35, but 11:35 p.m. And I would have to sneak down if my mom wasn't already downstairs. If she was downstairs watching, I would have to pull out my serious charm to get her to allow me to stay up and watch. But most of the time she'd be sleeping, so I would just sneak down, be all stealth, and watch, you know? Good times. So, I don't know if I've seen this one, we'll see. Alright. James Brown. The Payback. Let's get it.
He has been called Mr. Dynamite. He has been called Mr. Excitement. He has been called Soul Father number one, the Godfather of Soul. Where others have come and gone, James Brown has continued as master in the field of rhythm and blues, a true genius of our time. And his hits, are many in 1974. Here's one of the many gold records that James has had in the music business over the years. And here he is, James Soul Brother Brown.
And he's got the whole crew. James always had a minimum of 15 band members.
Payback! I got to revenge! Payback! Payback! Get back! Revenge! Payback! I need some get back! Payback! Get back! Revenge!
Favorite host of the Midnight Special was Natalie Cole. My favorite act of the Midnight Special was the Bee Gees. They did a Chaka show. I'm waiting for a sexy sax solo, man. Famous James Brown screech. It's more like a howl. Nice. 5 minutes, but it's still the short version. Being that it's on a show and all, that was excellent. No, I've never seen this, man. James Brown on the Midnight Special. You had to pull teeth to get this guy to appear, let me tell you. but I know that he wasn't really a big fan of television and the compartmentizing and all of that sort of thing, especially when he was just this big larger of life and he had this huge entourage with him the whole time. It just, it was a nightmare for him. So I know that he didn't like that format. Hey man, that was great. James Brown and the Midnight Special. It's one of those ones that I have not seen. Awesome. Payback. Yeah, man. That was on his, is it I Feel Good? No, it was before that. I can't remember. James had so many albums, man. Yeah, the Midnight Special, man. My favorite performance is, actually, I think Natalie Cole introduced the Bee Gees on the Midnight Special. My favorite episode. You should check that out. The Bee Gees, the Midnight Special, introduced by Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole had the lowest cut dress, man. I'm surprised that they let her on stage with that. And she was baked. She was really either really drunk or just really fried. In a nice way. She was really relaxed and everything. It was funny as hell. You should check that out, man. My favorite moment from that show. So, James Brown from the Midnight Special, performing Payback. Alright, man. Let's get a little background on this tune. Lots of history. The Payback is a funk song by James Brown, the title track from his 1973 album of the same name. The song's lyrics, originally written by trombonist and band leader Fred Wesley, but heavily revised by Brown himself soon before it was recorded, concern the revenge he plans to take against a man who betrayed him. The song is notable for its sparse, open arrangement and its use of wah-wah guitar, a relative rarity in Brown's previous funk recordings. I know that there's an alternate version out there where the payback is against that devil woman, that infamous devil woman. She not only just exists in blues, but she crosses over sometimes. The song is notable. Yeah, I read that part. Funk. Released as a 2-part single featuring a radio announcer at the beginning of part 1 in February of '74, it was the first in an unbroken succession of 3 singles by Brown to reach number 1 on the R&B charts that year, the last chart toppers of his career. It also peaked at number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was his second and final single to be certified gold by the RIAA. Background. The song and the album of the same name were originally recorded by Brown as the accompanying soundtrack to the blaxploitation film Hell Up in Harlem, released in '73, but was rejected by the movie's producers as, quote, the same old James Brown stuff, unquote. An incensed Brown decided to release the album and let it stand on its own merits. The subsequent soundtrack was then recorded by Motown Records artist Edwin Starr. Later, Brown recorded Rap Payback, Where Is Moses, IZ, a reworking of the Payback in 1980. Samples. The Payback song has been sampled by many musical artists, including numerous hip-hop and R&B producers. En Vogue recorded 2 different hits, Hold On and My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It, that were both based on loops from the song's rhythm track. You remember En Vogue? Those really fine ladies. They were a quad of ladies, and I think they're still jamming together. I think they get together once in a while and still do their thing. They haven't disbanded officially. LL Cool J sampled the Payback in his 1990 song The Booming System. Guy used the enthusiastic whoops for Dog Me Out in 1991. Enthusiastic whoops, that's a good way to describe it. Mary J. Blige sampled the song for her 1997 hit Everything. Total and Brooklyn rapper Biggie Smalls sampled the song's intro in their 1995 hit Can't You See. Okay, man. Yeah, there's way too many samples. Yeah, you get the idea. It's been sampled a hell of times. Yeah, let's stop there, man. There's just, I can just keep going. Yeah, it's been sampled a lot. This list alone here is 30. Yeah. Let's jump to our next track, man. And that being Gratitude, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Gratitude. Let's get it. Look how slim Philip Bailey was back in the day, homie. Another act that had a huge entourage. I think Sly and the Family Stone has the record of the largest on-stage entourage. Such a party in the 70s, man. You know what I've been paying attention to a lot lately? This song structure. I mean, they drop the vocals and then they stretch the song out in the middle with instrumentation and entertainment. I'll talk about that later. Response.
Play it, Andy. Andy. Yeah. Oh, Andy. Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
just took this okay jam song and elevated it to an epic song.
Mr. Andrew Paul Wolfo, give him your love.
Nice. Ah, the good old days. Let me tell you, that was excellent, man. So, I started talking about the structure of a song. Lately, I've really been focusing on song structure. And when I'm talking about song structure, keep in mind, I'm no damn musician. I don't know shit about music where it comes to the technical aspect of it or anything like that. I've just, over the last year of doing reactions, I've been noticing that some of the songs that really stand out to me, that are epic to me, have been the songs that have a certain structural pattern. And it obviously isn't just restricted to classic rock songs. And on the classic rock side, I use an example being War Pigs from Black Sabbath, how they drop the message of what they're trying to deliver, the vocals in the front end, and then in the middle they stretch out the song with great instrumentation. In this case, with these guys, with this tune, Gratitude, they stretched it out with some flair and some dancing and all that, but you had good instrumentation, you had some entertainment. The point is that in the middle of the song, they're stretching the shit out of it. They're taking just an okay song and elevating it, turning it up, and making it something really, really epic, really memorable, you know? So I noticed that pattern with the likes of Black Sabbath, how they construct their music. Working Man from Rush, another really, really good example. So I've seen patterns in the last little while of song structure. And if you were to ask, well, geez, man, why is music today so much different than music of yesteryear? Why does music of yesteryear have that certain essence, that burst of life, that charm, you know, that elixir, that spicy elixir to it? Why? And why is that missing from the music of today? I think that one of the reasons why is the structure of the song. You know, you take a song like this, you might not remember the vocals of what they were saying to you. You might not remember much, but you're definitely going to remember the middle portion. You're going to remember the jam, the groove, the great musicianship. If you're watching it, you're going to remember, of course, the showmanship and everything like that. So I think that epic music, whether it being classic rock, whether it being R&B, soul, and funk, they have a certain structure in their song that makes them epic, that makes them memorable. This song, this performance will always be memorable. Why? I think not only because of the flair, but also the structure of the song. Let me know if you think that I'm on it or if I'm just on the other side of the orbit, man. I think I'm on to something though. All right, so Gratitude. Gratitude is a double album by Earth, Wind and Fire. Just album info here. Issued in November of '75 by Columbia Records. The album rose to #1 on both the Billboard 200 and Billboard Top Soul Albums charts. Gratitude has also been certified triple platinum in the US by the RIAA. Triple platinum. Overview. Gratitude was also co-produced by Maurice White and Charles Stepney. The LP consists of mostly live concert material together with some newly recorded tracks. Gratitude also spent 6 weeks atop the Billboard Top Soul Albums chart and 3 weeks atop the Billboard 200 chart. Critical reception. Kit Aiken of Uncut called Gratitude as a kicking live album. Tony Green of Spin also described the album as one that's capable at any moment of landing an emotional killer blow. EWF went on to win a Rock Music Award in the category of Best Soul Album for Gratitude. The album's title track was also Grammy nominated in the category of Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals. That's what we just reacted to. With the LP came Sing Along, which rose to number 1 on the Billboard Hot Soul Songs chart at number 5 on the Hot 100. Another single, Can't Hide Love, got to number 11 on the Billboard Hot Souls chart. Can't Hide Love was also nominated for a Grammy in the category of Best Arrangement for Voices. Alright, man. So the whole album did well, not just the song. So that is our look at Gratitude. Not just song, but album as well. Fantastic performance, man. It's a really good party groove, isn't it? Yeah, man. I don't want to say the good old days, but yeah, those were some good times, let me tell you. Alright, man. So, let's bounce to our final track, man. Baby I Love You, Prince and Chaka Khan, live in London. Baby I Love You. Let's get it.
Chaka. Doing that little groove we was working on earlier.
Oh, yeah. Oops. We got some feedback. Yes, I remember. Let's do that. This is something we haven't done that we never did before. First time hearing it ever. If you want my love, yeah. If you really do, don't be afraid, baby. Just ask. No, I'm gonna give it to you.
Aretha. Guess who wrote that for her? I've always really loved Chaka's hair. She's had some crazy hair all her life. That was nice, man. I've never seen that. That was excellent. Prince and Chaka Khan in London in '98. Nice, very nice. Damn. Yeah, man, I've never seen that. That was excellent. Yeah, Chaka Khan, man. My first, I guess, early stages of my life from when I was a kid up until maybe my teens, my musical influence was predominantly my mom. And, she would be into all of the R&B and the funk, the soul, the jam. She introduced me to Soul Train and Solid Gold, American Bandstand, Dance Fever, Midnight Special. It goes on and on and on. So it was her influence more so. Whenever we had a party at our place, it was more so her music, her girlfriend's music, that sort of thing. And my dad's influence was sprinkled in there too. Of course, he liked that side, but his musical taste had an even wider base. So where my mom stopped with all of the soul, my dad continued with the reggae and the country and the folk and the rock and the blues, man. And I didn't realize up until now doing reactions how much of an influence he had on me. It was kind of like at a distance. And as I'm doing these reactions and my memory is just being triggered by all of these reactions, especially on the classic rock platform, I had no idea that I had so much exposure to Bob Dylan, for example. I had no idea that I was so exposed to Jeff Beck, for example. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea that I was so exposed to the Grateful Dead. And so I asked myself, why am I familiar? Why does sometimes even the lyrics roll off of my tongue? It happens quite a lot with the Allman Brothers, for example. And it turns out that, I was exposed to a lot of his influences just because of all of the music being played in my house. Picture this scene, man. Got this big ass sprawling bungalow, right? You got the rec room where the big ass RCA color TV is. You know those huge ass color TVs that weighed 800 pounds? We had one of those, man. And it took up one corner of the damn rec room. So we'd go in there and we'd watch Soul Train. And I would leave the rec room and I would walk through the kitchen, living room area, and the music would change from R&B, Soul Train. Now I'm walking into my dad's zone. And old Rufus is there and all of his boys from camp and everything. And now I'm listening to Dylan, rock and roll, reggae, all different manner of stuff that mainly the men are listening to, So I would walk from one end of the house to another, and I would constantly be going through these musical force fields, And so that was my exposure to music growing up, and I never realized just how good I had it where it comes to musical exposure and how much of an influence it was. And it's only with doing these reactions that it's unlocking memories and taking me back, and it's a trip, man, let me tell you. Anyway, this is a really, really nice throwback to a singer I love very, very much, man, Aretha Franklin. And Prince and Chaka did a great job here. Someone on the Classic Rock platform in the comments section was telling me, I believe it was a number of artists doing was it a tribute concert for George Harrison? And Prince just went off. He was in the zone, and he just went into this crazy guitar solo. They were supposed to take turns, and then he got into this zone, and everyone was saying to him, keep going, and it lasted twice as long as it should have. Someone was telling me about it. I've never seen it. If you know what I'm talking about, send that to me, will you? Because I would love to see that. Yeah, man. And Chaka Khan, I feel for you. I mean, she's been around since the 70s, and she is a household name and made. But, with Prince writing I Feel For You for her, it rejuvenated her career in the 80s, And there was a really cool music video attached to it. Lots of guys doing their breakdancing and everything. So it rejuvenated her career, thanks to Prince. So I'm not surprised to see them doing collaborations, even as late as '98. Fantastic. They're two great R&B singers, man. Chaka is still around. She's got to be in her late 70s now. I don't know if she's still active. That's hard to say. The last time I saw Chaka Khan was, I think, in Rochester, and she was a guest of Roberta Flack. That was a long ass time ago, and of course, being in the Navy and all that stuff, I was pissed. I was drunk as hell. Yeah. So, yeah, good times. It's taking me back. I'm reminiscing here, and I'm losing my way. All right, man. Let me do a little read here. I'm certainly not going to feed you all of the shenanigans of my Navy years. Baby, I Love You is a popular song by R&B singer Aretha Franklin. The only single release from her Aretha Arrives album in '67. The song was a huge hit, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart, and spending 2 weeks at number 1 on the Hot Rhythm and Blues singles chart. It was featured in Martin Scorsese's 1990 film Goodfellas. A live recording featured on the album Aretha in Paris in '68. There have been several other famous musicians who have covered Aretha Franklin's Baby I Love You, such as Prince, Chaka Khan, Lisa Marie Presley, Donny Hathaway, Roberta Flack. Hey, Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack. You talk about a great harmonizing twosome. Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack, man. I got to do some reactions to that. If you know you're a Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack's, send it my way. That is a reaction I'll definitely do. B.B. King, the Bar-Kays, Irma Franklin, Irma Thomas, Otis Rush. Oh man, yeah, it just keeps going on. Let's stop there. Anyway, it's been covered by a lot of artists. Fantastic. Her album reception. After its release, Rolling Stone magazine reviewed the collection by saying, "Neither the sophistication nor the subtlety of the musicians involved gets in the way of the basic primitivism of Aretha's music. The best cuts on the record hit with tremendous immediacy and force, and do so in an entirely artistic way." There you go. And a good review by Rolling Stone. Yeah, man. So that concludes Wikipedia Song Fact Info on this song. And this great quad. Excellent quad, man. Randy, thank you, man. Taking me back to my roots with some of these. And I really want to check out a little bit more by the Talking Heads. I think that they are a really great band in their own right. And one of those bands, I believe, that has to be seen live. I have a feeling that their entertainment value never stops, and you got to see them live. So yeah, man. Of course, always great to see James Brown, Earth, Wind and Fire. Fantastic party. Yeah, man. This platform, I'm really excited about what we're going to react to and what we're going to uncover. I like I said, man, with this platform, we're going all over the place. I mean, you know, so far, how many reactions have we had? 20? We've hit some Latin grooves, we've hit some classical, we've hit some reggae, we've hit some funk, some soul, some rock, some alternative rock, you know, some new wave grooves. We've pretty much hit most of everything, you know. So, we're just going to keep milling it out. So I'm excited about the platform being able to accommodate people who I've sadly turned away. And some people that I've had to say no to, you know, when people hear the word no, they don't like it. And, oh, Wayne, you're a piece of shit. I'm disappointed. To hell with you. Go to hell. So I've had a lot of that, right? I'm sorry, I'm only doing reactions to classic rock, and I don't constitute this as being classic rock. I'm going within a time frame of mid-60s to mid-80s and a genre specific. And, you know, when people get that, they are pissed off. So to some of those people who are pissed off, now we've got a platform where you can submit your whatever it was that I said no to initially. So there you go. Anyways, man, hey, this was excellent. Randy, thank you very much again. I appreciate it. And I definitely look forward to doing some more soulful, funky grooves, man. Fantastic stuff. I'm just scrolling down here, checking if I have any notes here. Well, yeah, the only notes I've got really is I got reactions coming for Jeffrey, John, Jack, Jameson, all J's, man. Yeah, so I got reactions coming up for these gentlemen very, very soon. So thanks very much for joining me, man. Hope you like this reaction. Throwing me back to yesteryear. I never saw that James Brown performance on the Midnight Special, so that was really cool. But thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in another reaction. Peace.